This is Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and today we're going to talk about how to engrave aluminum and create some easy garden markers for your garden to label all your plants. Get started by getting all your supplies. You're going to need some strong grip mats, some aluminum sheets, and some scrap wood, and also some outdoor paint or stain. Before you start engraving, make sure to move all of your roller balls all the way to the right, otherwise they can interfere with the engraving process. Attach your aluminum sheets to your mat. In this case, I'm using some duct tape to hold them on. I like to make sure they don't shift. And go ahead and load your mat into your machine. I have a separate tutorial on creating your own SVGs. This one needed to be cleaned up quite a bit, so it's going to look a little different once it's cut. As you can see, I combined two different images here and attached them. I'm going to put both of these on a 5x7 sheet, and then I'm going to use some shears to just cut right up in the middle. That'll allow me to get two cuts or two different labels per sheet. And in this case, I've got 4 different labels per sheet. Make sure they're resized a little under the width and height of your aluminum sheet, just because you need to leave room for your duct tape. Okay, so when I go to cut these, they're going to allow you to move the images around on your mat. You want to make sure you have your mat in front of you with your panels already taped down, because you need to make sure they're centered properly, otherwise they'll cut off the mat. Once you're done, click Maker and aluminum sheets. Okay, and once I go and hit go on my machine, load my mat in, all that good stuff, this is what it looks like while it's engraving. I didn't get a video of the whole thing, but you get an idea. When your machine is finished engraving, you're going to notice it's got little pieces and shards from the metal. Use a lint roller to just roll over that and it'll remove them. You're also going to want to use a cloth to just clean off your machine a little bit. After it's all done cutting, you can go ahead and use tin snips if you want to make these aluminum panels smaller. It helps cut them into pieces. I did find it hard to get an exact cut on these. If I did this again, I would probably have my Cricut etch the lines, the cut lines for me, so I would have something to follow. If you cut your panels with tin snips, it'll be pretty sharp around the edges, so just go ahead and sand down those edges so they don't cut you. If you prefer a different look, you can actually use infusible ink directly on these panels. I actually like the etching or the engraving a little bit more. I like the detail on it, but you know, it just depends on what look you're going for. If you want your engraving to really stick out, you can use some paint. This is outdoor and indoor acrylic paint, and I am just brushing it on and then just using a dry cloth to wipe it off. Go ahead and cut some wood. These are actually scraps remaining from a different project I did, and I like that they have an angle so they're easy to pound into the ground, and they're actually a really good size for the smaller aluminum cuts that I did, so I can use them as is. Ideally you want these to be pressure treated. We're going to actually paint these with outdoor paint to help preserve them so they don't rot. Use outdoor paint or stain, which will help seal your wood and prevent rotting. Use an adhesive to attach your panels to your wood. For a different look, I decided to use some shims, cut them in half, and make a little frame for my aluminum sheet. I put a couple shims across the back to hold them all together and painted them. Because I added the angled cut to the bottom, it was easy to pound this into the ground to label my plants.